Good morning. Happy January, 3rd? Wow, 3rd. I liked having a couple January 1st, two in a row. We didn't have a day. So we're going to talk about something today that I think is absolutely critical. It is my hope that everybody here has got their New Year's resolution. You know what you're going to do. You've got your business plan. Good heavens, we covered that enough as long as we could. We want to make sure you have your goal, what your world looks like. Now, for today's call, it's going to be business focused. Because it's the first call of the year, I hope you all get this. I hope you are just as committed to personal, physical health, emotional health, to family, to relationships. I hope you're committed to all of those, as committed to those as you are about your business, and vice versa. Because the truth is, unless you're good inside, everything's cool and you're in a good place, business doesn't matter that much, unfortunately. So that's my biggest wish. But today we are going to talk about business and really focus just on that. So in the conversation that we're going to have, you got to think of what your business goal would be. You got to say, all right, what is it in your mind? Do you have what I call a magic number? Do you have a magic number? It may be a dollar amount. It may be units sold. I hope it's units sold because that's so much more manageable. So I'm going to talk in terms of units sold because that's what I would encourage you guys to focus on, is how many people were you able to help? If you have that goal in mind, reverse engineering is pretty easy to do. So think about that. What's your average sale? How many units you have? You can kind of figure out what that looks like in GCI. If that doesn't work, then perhaps you're going to need to have a couple more. I read something that I was a little distraught by, but I found something in there that I thought was incredibly valuable, and it's talking about the difference between coaching and mentoring. This is a good place at which to put that in. It's very challenging for me to coach anybody with the time constraints that I have. However, I do want to give you guys an idea, just a food for thought. Every single Friday, there is live coaching going on. These are like the best coaches in the country, and they're here every single Friday. Don't miss the opportunity that Friday is about your business and about planning your business. And you have something that's $1,500 a month for free every single Friday. So please take full advantage of the resources that are available to you. Darn it, I completely lost my train of thought. We're talking about our goals. All right, reverse engineering these goals. You know how many units. Our goal is to help you get there, but you have to know what's involved in that. What does it look like? So I'm reading a book it's called Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. It's absolutely phenomenal. I would encourage you to get it. That's the first of two books I'm going to recommend today. In that book, when well, I'll come back to that in just a minute. I don't know why, but my brain is not triggering on all six cylinders today. So just bear with me, guys. I'm going to do the best I can to muscle through this. Brian Tracy, it's just, as I said, just an amazing book. And he talks about you've got to put the work in before you actually receive what your goal is. Now I'm going to equate that to weight. If I'm going to lose 40 pounds, I don't lose it right away. I lose it after I do what's required to reach that goal. Now, there are certain things I have to do every single day for me to continue to progress towards the goal as you guys are doing this. Now, I've reverse engineered my goal of weight using it because it's such an easy example. I know what I want to weigh. I know exactly how much I have to lose, and I can then step that out over the course of a month or 3 months or 6 months or a year. I know what that looks like. If I don't put the work in, I'm not going to make my goal on that month. If I do, I will. Here's the example. Let's say I'm going to lose 7 pounds per month. That's a little less than 2 pounds it's a little less than 2 pounds per week. I know that if I overeat, if I have cheat days where I'm just going through carbs, if I'm drinking it all, any of that, I'm not going to reach my goal. And it's my responsibility. If that goal is so important to me, I'm going to do what it takes. And that's the second book I'm going to recommend we read today. It's called The One Thing, and that's our topic. And here's why. There is in every one of your goals, and then when you break it down, what has to happen, how you have to pay for that goal, because you're going to get there, but you have to pay for it in advance. And inside of that paying for it in advance, more likely than not, there is one thing that if you did, let's see, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? For me, it's exercise and diet. It's actually really two things I have to do using weight. For business, there is a 2-hour block that I have in my day that I have 3 things have to be accomplished. I'm not going to go into what mine are because it doesn't matter what they are to you. It matters that I know what they are. So my one thing is that 2 hours has to be protected. I either succeeded and started paying my bill towards my goal, using weight as an example, by eating better and by following a strict exercise program. Business, I've got to protect that 2 hours. That's the only time where everything stands still and I get to do what I have to do, so everything else becomes easier or unnecessary. So if you start looking at your business and your goals that you have for this year, because we're here, we're in play right now. By the way, we should probably have a quick conversation, especially since we have Ali on the phone too, I think. But I want to have a conversation about what the market's going to do and kind of a forecast for going forward. With your goal, you know how many people you need to help. I sure hope after all this time, you have in your mind exactly what needs to have happen. What is the one thing? What is that thing that if you do that, everything else falls into place? Now, I can't answer that for you. I would love to talk to you about it. And I'd love for anybody that wants to share what that is. For me, it's 2 hours uninterrupted, phone on airplane mode, doing the work I have to do every day to reach my goal. And I happen to know it takes about 2 hours, and there's 3 things that have to happen in that 2 hours. It's got to be a non-negotiable for me. Does anybody else have a goal that they are willing to share? What's their one thing? Because I think it'd be very helpful for other people to hear what a one thing would be. What's the one thing that you have to do on a daily basis that by doing so, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? Does anybody have anything? Tiff?
Prospecting every day.
So
non-negotiable.
If you prospect every day, thank you for sharing that, Tiffany. I appreciate it. If you prospect and people are typing them in, that's great. I'd love to have a conversation with somebody too, because we're going to make you win. Abrams, by the way, did you check in? Did you sign up? Are you good? Rock solid. Abrams will be at the training on the 9th, 10th, and 11th too. Give you a big hug coming from me to you. I'll see you in a little bit. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So Tiffany, on your goals, if you prospected every day for whatever time frame you decided to put in there, and you know about how many people you speak to, and we're not going to dig deep into your numbers, but the question would be, if you did this on a daily basis, do you have a high level of certainty that your goal would be met?
Yes.
Okay. So for everybody out here, I am not one of those people that take a 2x4, just hit you over the head and try and beat you up with it. You're not going to be perfect. You're just not. I mean, and that's totally cool. Because if you're perfect, well, I don't know, you're probably Sheldon on some TV show because he's the only smartest person I know. You don't need to be. You just need to be good at what you do, and you need to be great and committed. So Tiffany, is it fair to assume that you're going to make every effort possible to do that one thing? Because if you do, is everything else going to fall into place?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to have some challenges along the way?
Of course.
Yeah. Can we get through them as a group? I mean, we've got, what, 55 people on the call right now. By the way, good job getting back in the game so quick. Look at you badasses. That's terrific. But if you did all this, you know you've got enough support that we're going to find a solution for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you had a solution, would you actually maybe stick around for the after call and, the after party, and maybe ask a question, get an answer, or bring it up here in the middle of the conversation?
You already know I do.
I know. I'm kidding. I'm playing around because I wanted you all to get
Yes.
that there's so much resource for you. In fact, from 10 o'clock until 10:30 every single day of the week, and it'll be right there. It's in the GPS Global Partners right now, but you can actually go there, and Joe is there. And if he doesn't get the answer, he reaches out to Tiffany and me right away. So it's not just from 8:30 to 10. It's really from 8:30 to 11. There are people on call for you. So while you run into challenges, I brought it back and I didn't forget where I was. That's a good sign. I'm going to get the brain sharper again. So while you're running into these challenges, though, you're reaching your goals. You're paying for it ahead of time. And after you reach them, after you pay for this, you're going to reap the benefits. There's just no way around it. I truly, truly believe that. All right. So let me take a look. We've got Lori, thank you. She's like database and making calls. And that's kind of I would say that's the same thing as prospecting. A lot of you are going to find that that's what it's involved with. For your business, you're going to find that you're going to have to go belly to belly, meet new people, however you choose to do so. And in meeting those people, That's where the magic comes from. Tiffany, I'm assuming you're not prospecting the exact same 5 people every single day. Is that fair?
Sorry, I had muted. Yes, that is correct. I have to
Okay,
have
so
real estate conversations.
and if y'all do this, assuming that's the one thing for you, it's going to get you there no matter what. I don't care if you're bad at real estate. That's not fair. I want to take that back. Not bad at real estate. Bad at communicating or following a script. Here's a script. It works. I guarantee it works. If you stand in front of a Publix, dressed appropriately with your button on, or any grocery store you want to, and have a flyer about the services you provide for buyers and sellers and speak to, and this is your entire script. Hi, my name is George Philbeck, and I'm a real estate professional. I'd like to be the person you reach out to when you have a question. Is there anything I can help you with right now? Here's my information. Now, that's a pretty marginal script, okay? But if you do that with 200 people, 210 to be exact, one of them will choose to interact with you, perhaps not immediately, but shortly. Those numbers work, and that's if you're bad. And if you're better at it, you can get your numbers down to where you talk to 35 people. You'll have a closing. So just to show of hands, the people that I can see, and for all of you that I can't see, shame on you, because you're the reason we're here. You're the most important people in the room, and we don't get to see you. I want to see your smiling faces. But if you talk to 210 people, you're going to get a closing if you're bad, and you can talk to substantially less if you get good at it. I got to the point where I was, thank you guys for putting it on your face. I got to the point where I was talking to, I think it was 35 or 36 people, and I would have a closing. That's just, I knew my number. Now, I had people, mine was for sale by owners, so you knew they were raising their hand. You higher probability if you're pretty good at what you do, and I got good over time. So that's not the numbers that you're striving for. But if you knew you could talk to 100 people and you would get a closing, in your average closing, you all have your goals, and your average closing is, let's say, $10,000. How many groups of $10,000 closings do you need? A lot of times I hear the answer 100,000, and then 250 is usually the next one. So that's 10 or 25 closings. Going backwards on this, you can do the math very simply. If you took 25 and said, I need to talk to 100 people, you're going to have to talk to, I can't do higher math, 2,500 people. All right, I'm going to bring out a calculator for this because now I actually am curious on this. 2,500 people divided by 180 days. That means you need to talk to 13 people a day, 180 days a week or year. Those are the numbers, but they have to be new people, and you have to have a real estate conversation. That is the way to do it. Now, I do want to throw a caveat in there. If you're focusing on your database, you're actually not having a real estate conversation. You're having a conversation about them, and it's a much deeper relationship. So if database is your focus, please don't hear me saying you have to have a real estate conversation with them. I truly, truly don't believe that. I believe you have to have a relationship conversation with them. You're in relationship with your database. These are people you do things for that will help you, that you have a deeper relationship. You go over to their house for dinner or you go over to their house for a New Year's Eve party. We met 3 people that are now part of our database on New Year's Eve that were great. Turns out I was the youngest person at the party. What the heck was that? It's never happened to me before. Anyway, it's kind of funny too. No comments on that later, or I will find you. I see you laughing, Abrams. I swear to God, one comment, one more. I'm kidding. God, my brain just keeps going away today. What is the matter with me? Well, who knows where I was? Oh, yeah, we're talking about the numbers. So if you're going to have conversations with people and you're going to do some outbound prospecting, be it open houses, be it door knocking in the rain. Thank you very much, Liz. We love that one. Door knocking in the rain around a listing because you're committed to do it. You pick up 3 more listings or something crazy like that. You're going to have to do the work. But if you did that, now this is the fun part. If you did the work, I'm going to talk to my average of 13 people, whatever that is. I'm going to do, I like open houses. That's just me. I'm going to do an open house on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And my mission is to have 50 people come through that I can have a real estate related conversation. So I know I need 10 on Friday and I need 20 and 20 coming through. And if I don't do that, well, I'm missing my count. Let's say 50 is my number and I need to have whatever 50 comes out to. If I'm talking to 50 people a week, that's going to turn into some business, at least 10 to 12 businesses, transactions. I mean, you got to plan on that, guys. That's 10 people a day on average. 10 people a day is at least 15 closings, period. What's the one thing? Nancy, that was actually not a script I had, but I will say it again, and you can also jump in the recording and grab it. What time are we at, Tiffany? Right now, we're at like 32 minutes. Nancy, go back around 27 minutes and you'll hear it again. Probably the easiest way to do it, but here's the thrust of it. Hi, my name is George Philbeck, and I'm a real estate professional. I'd love to help you with any and all real estate needs you have. Here's my contact information. Is there anything I can do for you at this current time? No, that's it. And it's just something I just made up literally on the fly. It's not what I call a very good script. Tiffany, you've posted something, so I'm going to let you just say what you post. Yes, I will. Angela.
There we go. I was saying that I have a new game, and it's similar to the Go for No. If you guys are familiar with that tactic in prospecting, and just have it setting a number. So it's similar to that. And like what George said is, of course, having relationship conversations. But in my mind, if I don't have a good enough relationship with this person for them to ask how my business is doing or bring up something that matters to me, then I'm not doing a very good job of building a relationship with that person,
Right.
which is okay, but it's something that I'm aware of, and it just doesn't count as a no. So that's a conversation, but I unfortunately wasn't able to bring up real estate. So it doesn't count for me, and I have to keep calling more people.
Yeah, relationships are critical, and you can do them. By the way, this is you can't see it. It's I had these envelopes already stamped and ready to go, and the people that live in the next neighborhood behind us, we met. I met one of them, and she invited us over, and there's 4 other neighbors that were right there, and we had a wonderful conversation. Every single one of them is getting a thank you note written today and sent out to them to say, "Hey, it's so nice to meet you," and start the relationship process. It's just that simple. Now, because they're in the next cul-de-sac over, I'm going to go over and knock on the door and bring something nice to them. Jackie makes an amazing flan. Jackie, if you're on the call, we maybe need 2 more of those to drop off. It's the little things that'll make a difference in what you're doing this year, folks. Little things are going to make a huge difference. On point with this, the 2 books that I just spoke of. The first is Maximum Achievement, Brian Tracy. Number 2 is The One Thing, and it's written by Gary Keller and I believe Papasan, but I'm not 100% sure. I know Keller's involved. Is that right? All right, cool. And I'm pretty sure Liz has a copy of that. If y'all haven't figured this out, just as an FYI, Liz does the hard work, and now I'm bragging on her because I happen to know, does the hard work every single day, and even when it's raining, which is, I think, an incredible thing. And Liz, if you don't mind, I'm going to pick on you, meaning I'm going to pick on you to call as opposed to needle pick you. So just kind of jump in on this one. How did last year end up for you? I mean, I know you had hard work, but did you put the time and effort in, and what were the results, I guess, is what I'd like to ask.
Yeah, so I actually hit my minimum expectation. I wanted to do 30 or 36 units. I ended up doing 24 because of the shift in the market. Had to really change out a lot of the things that I did towards the end of the year. So it allowed me to hit it. I did over 7 million in volume as a single agent by myself in my first year. So I'm super proud of it, guys. But it was a lot of blood, sweat, tears, rainy days, but it's all worth it, guys. When you look at it, I was actually having a conversation with my husband this morning, and we were talking. He was like, "Babe, if you would have put in just a fraction more of the effort that you did, you would have hit your goals." He was like, "You would have hit your stretch, you would have iconed." And he was just like, just a fraction more. And I'm like, holy crap, like that is so true. But I did work my ass off, excuse me. And I'm super proud of the results. So if you just put 10% or even 5% more into what you're doing, like 5% more of whatever you're doing, I promise you, you are doing 90% better than half of the agents out there. I promise you that. I mean it. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I look like crazy. I'm like, I just woke up, no makeup.
No, you're cool. Liz, thank you very much. I really wanted to have everybody hear that. And I want to, when we talk about, like, if you just put in an extra 5 or 10 or 20%, by the way, if you put 20% more effort in, you are going to catapult your business. But hang tight before you think about this. That one thing, more likely than not, is not an 8-hour thing. It's a 1 or a 2-hour thing. And 20% is 20 minutes more. 30,
And
40
like,
minutes
guys,
more.
if you make one more phone call,
Yeah.
one more phone call, one more open house, I'm telling you the difference in your business, because it's all based on that one conversation. That one conversation that you have with someone will jumpstart your business. Like, just a prime example, and I'm sorry, I see Robert has his hand up, so I know I want to get to him, but I had one conversation with an agent, really just getting to know each other. And not only did she refer me two clients, one of them, it was a referral from her. They bought like an $80,000 trailer. But the second client that she referred me to, it's a $1.5 million like super aggressive client who is building his real estate portfolio and represents some of the biggest names that in the business. We're talking Dwayne Wade, we're talking Gabrielle Union, and I am getting exposed to that. So I'm like, just building that relationship and having one more conversation, guys, will transform your business. And if it could be 5 minutes, and I can assure you it will change the game for you. So if just a little extra, and you'll see the results.
I'm so, thank you. That's exactly what you all must hear. And now back to time wise, what's that mean? It's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. It's, well, for sale by owners, if I really need to knock something out of the park, I would have needed to call for an extra 20 minutes to really, really plus that up. Or maybe just do that, because the truth of the matter is I was on the phone 4 or 5 days, not 5 of 5 days. I wasn't perfect. Nobody here has to be. But when you're knocking on doors, you're going to do 10, 10, 20. Why wouldn't we do 20, 20, 40 if we're going to do that extra thing? Because we're not doing it every single day, but when we have that opportunity, add more to it. What's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or not, or unnecessary? Jackie, if you're able to hop on, just unmute your mic. I don't know if you're able to do it. I know she's got something she's working on. I'd love to ask a question of you. And if not, I totally get it. So don't worry about it. Holly just wrote this.
I'm
which I
here.
think
Sorry
is
about
great.
that.
Oh, hi.
Sorry. Hey, good morning.
So I just called myself out, and I know you have some things committed to you. I happen to know you extremely well, ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Jackie. Jackie Sosa professionally, Jackie Philbeck to all of you. Okay. She's my wife. I married her. We've had a lot of conversations, you and I, sweetheart. Is there, in the conversations on the one thing, is there one thing that kind of jumped out in your mind that you've got to do a little more of? I talked about mine. I need those 2 hours.
Prospect.
I'm sorry.
Back those contacts.
We broke up on all of that.
Prospect.
Okay, so I know exactly where she is in her walk, because that's a dead spot. It's breaking up. Let me finish it for you, Jackie. I think your phone's breaking up a whole lot. She's talking about prospecting, and we've got some people that we need to follow up with ourselves. And by doing that one thing, we're going to do the one thing we need to. And this is very transparent. By us doing what we must do, we no longer have to worry so much about our budget, because we are, obviously, as everybody else, we're seeing a financial change that's occurring, and more effort will help that go away for you. I want to leave you with this before we turn it into something a little more open mic, and then I'm going to jump on what Holly said, because I just love that. A lot of times, this is actually part of the book, the Brian Tracy Maximum Achievement book, and I thought it was phenomenal. Said a lot of times, there was a book that was done, and I think it's How to Win Friends and Influence People, but I'm not sure. He quotes it in here, but here's the thrust. Talking to 105 successful people, the gift that gave them what they were looking for was buried in a challenge. And the bigger the challenge, the better the gift. And for all of these, every one of these people he interviewed for this high-level book, every one of them pushed through an insurmountable challenge, something they thought they couldn't get through. And by getting through it, they were given to them the freedom that they wanted, which is the success of whatever they were striving for. Think about that. Getting up in the morning to do the exercise at 5 a.m. Making that call, making those calls that need to be made, planning on your schedule, irrefutable days that I am doing X, Y, or Z, and I'm going to do it at the highest possible level. This is where and there's something's going to get in the way. Something's going to stop you in your commitment to your goal and doing the one thing that's going to change most everything else will give you your success. I happen to know exactly what Jackie's referring to because we plan on this and we talk about this on a regular basis. Are you having those conversations, even if it's with yourself? Do you know what you must do? Robert, you had your hand up. I am so sorry. I think we went on a rant. You good? I don't know what that means, man. I don't
Check
speak.
the chat box.
Oh, okay. Now I got to read. Seriously, dude, what are you doing to me?
I was just going back to what Elizabeth was saying. You can be busy. You have to do things. You have to do things. You have to do things. But you can be busy doing nothing sometimes. And no matter what you do, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, 8 hours, you must be on purpose.
I am for that. I completely agree. I would have written that had you not beat me to it. And now the thing that you got to get doubt out of your mind. This, I don't know if I could do it. You know, and I know how we all think. I think the same way. 8 hours. Robert said 8 hours. Are you? No, I don't have. No, I've got a children. I've got a puppy. I've got a this. I've got a hangnail. I've got what? Get that out of your mind. It's usually not that much. It's much smaller and manageable. And here's the thing. You can reverse engineer your goals by whatever your number of people you want to participate in their lives and help, and reverse engineer that down to what do you have to do on a daily basis. Back to goal setting. We've done this over and over. And we're going to put that horse to bed pretty soon. We'll revisit it in the first quarter, the second, the third, and fourth, because you have to continue to move the needle. But you know what you need to do. And if you do it, everything else is going to go away. And that's what I want you to get, that it's not an elephant you're trying to eat. You're trying to eat a small bite today. And if you don't do it exactly as well, take personal inventory. Find somebody who will support you. You say, well, you know, I kind of dropped the ball. What you want to hear in return is no worries. You're going to do great. Let's get back on the horse. We'll do it again tomorrow and we'll be better. And once you get in a roll, this is with anything you're kind of zoning out on. Once you get in that role, you can do more than you actually think you planned on doing. When you're getting warm and fuzzy, your open house is going, you're like, you know, I'm going to push this till 4. I'm not going to be done at 3. I want to go to 4. I know I'm going to have more people come in. You're going to find that the person that walks in at 350 is the person that wants to buy a 1.3 million or has a home to sell in another one. It's inevitable. Jackie and I use this strategy, you know, I'll share it with you. I don't know if she's still on. I think she may have hopped off on this one, but I'm going to use a strategy that we use to make sure if we're low in inventory where we're not meeting our goals, we immediately go on vacation because we always sell a home when we're on vacation. Okay. Everybody's like, what? Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense. It's just that we don't immediately do that, but that's what happens. We go on vacation and something sells. We're negotiating in the middle of vacation. Heaven forbid we could have 5 days off where we don't have to negotiate. What I want you to do, though, is I want you to say, what do I have to do on a regular basis? Robert's like, yep, 100% happens every time, doesn't it? It really does. You'll find that. And when you don't do it perfect, this is the part you got to hear so clearly. When you don't do it perfect, it's not at your standards. That's okay. Okay. Tomorrow is another day, and you can build your standards to where they should be. Now, do not get in the habit of having your standards be so incredibly high that they're unattainable. That's not going to be a successful journey for you. If I said, well, I want to lose 40 pounds and I want to do it in 1 month, psychologically, I know that's not really possible, or my health would suffer dramatically. Okay, that's just, you can't put a goal. If you're selling 10 homes and you want to sell 100, that's a pretty big reach for that 1 year. Okay. Doesn't mean it's not possible. It's just not probable. And therefore your mind is going to say, I don't really believe that. But here's the thing. And Holly just did it. We're having these conversations and she's getting coffee and she just asked the barista, when are you going to buy a home and let me be your real estate agent to help you do it? She knows the baristas. They've talked and the agent goes, well, you know what? It turns out I'm actually getting into real estate. I'm getting my real estate license. So she's going to have another conversation to come from contribution. What I'm getting at is if your goal isn't attainable to you, if it is attainable to you, if you think, yes, I can do this, I really can do this. If I do the work, I can do this. Make sure your goal is one that hits your needs at 100% and covers your needs at 80%. You're really, that sweet spot is 100. But what's the cover your needs? Now, the 100, by the way, if you're saying I want to hit 100%, if I do this 100% of the time, I'm going to have the most unbelievable vacation. It's $20,000 for the entire vacation. I'm taking my whole family. If I hit my goals, I can do this in the end of the year. We're going to have the most amazing Christmas. And that's the 100%. If you're 80% says, okay, well, we're still going to have an amazing Christmas, but we're not going to Switzerland. We're going to go to Utah and we'll spend Christmas there. You see what I'm saying? Don't make the 80%. Oh, I can barely live. The 80% is I'm having a good life. The 100% is that I'm going to push myself and I'm going to make it. Because the thing is, if you wake up today, you say, what do I got to do? And you do it. Awesome. You had a great day. Give yourself a grade. I grade myself today 5 out of 5. You can be your own grade, whatever you want. Tell somebody, how'd you do? Yeah, today was a 2. All right. What are you going to do different? Think to yourself, what am I going to do different? All right, I've got to be more focused on my time. Perhaps I had interferences. Perhaps other things I needed to do and I didn't get it done, or I got distracted. Me looking at boats. Seriously, what a waste of time. Although it's fun. Give yourself the ability to not be perfect. But don't forget, what's at the end? What's at the very end that you want that tastes good, that is good, tastes good? Don't use words like taste good when you're trying to lose weight. Just throwing that out there is a simple thing. That's not the optimum word. I'm going to say it feels good. All right. I'm going to put up a poll, and this helps us as we're going through. And actually, I'll do the poll in a minute and we'll do the circle back in a minute. I want to make sure I covered everything. Visiting with the open house is about to finish. That was Mateo the Extraordinary. I love that name. Mateo was just commenting. Thank you, Mateo. You're absolutely right. At the end of an open house, by the way, if you know you have to leave at 3 o'clock, you can guarantee somebody's walking through at 2:57 saying, well, it says till 3 and they're going to be there for 35 minutes. And if you're really nice to them, they're probably going to buy something or sell something with you. It's inevitably when you feel the pressure is when it happens. And that's that insurmountable. Remember I talked about it. You got to do that breakthrough. You can have little breakthroughs too. All right. Mateo, thank you very much. Yep. Liz is like, yes, that's exactly right. All right. I think we covered everything on there. Robert, I'm going to repeat this one more time. You can be busy doing nothing. You must be on purpose. As a recap, one thing or one, in my case, it's a block of time and 3 things I have to do on a daily basis. That's what you're looking to make sure that you're protecting, because the truth is that's the engine and you're the fuel. If you keep that engine clean, you're ready to go, and you're the one putting the fuel in it by doing the time, doing the effort, doing what needs to be done. You will reach your goal if you reverse engineered it and your goal numbers are correct. And again, if you're not using a number that you're comfortable with, or you're not sure what that number is, I want you to consider that as a lay person, you want to use for 75 to 100 contacts. If you're using contacts, if you're using database, 75 to 100 people in your database is good. To 100 people in your database, use 10 transactions if they're done at the highest level. Remember though, if database is the only thing you're working, it shouldn't be if you're brand new in real estate. Database is the only thing you're working and you're really jumping into it. It does take around 5 to 6 months for that to warm up. You're going to have to put the work in ahead of time, creating relationships that are not real estate related. They'll know you're successful. Follow our database class. In fact, I've got some YouTube videos that walk you through all of it shortly, and I'll send them out to everybody. You can do whatever you put your mind to. Every day is a different day. That's the summary right there. All right. So I'm going to put up a poll. I want to talk about the forecasting. I have to do this because he's on the phone. Ali, if you're on the phone and able to have a quick conversation, I'd love to invite you to give me your thoughts or share some of your thoughts, as I know you are a hyper analyst concerning the market. Let me know if you unmute yourself. I'll know that you're able to have a conversation. If you're driving or something and can't, I respect that. Here's the poll. Let's see. Maybe. Do I have it? There we are. All right. Bear with me, guys. I'm so sorry. I should know this. There. Again, if you have already filled it out, great. If you haven't, that's terrific. We'll let that run for about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll get it out of your way. You can just click the little red or the little X out if you've already filled it out. It's not mission critical. So we are, this kind of off topic. This is for GPS Global Partners. As I said, we're going to redo the website so that it actually is a professional. It's done by a team of professionals that are going to be helping. They're actually going to be doing the entire design. There'll be a front of the house and the back of the house. Front of the house talks about the GPS Global Partners. The back is going to have all the tools, links, and everything else. Tiffany, we can hit pause or stop on this one. That's enough for the mastermind. I'll have a private conversation at this point.